Select Committee is still investigating the events leading up to the riots. Trump has denied his words incited protesters to storm the Capitol. In a statement released after Biden's speech, Trump called the November 2020 election the real insurrection. Well, earlier tonight, we held a special town hall live on our streaming network, CBSN Los Angeles. Political leaders and experts sounded off about what happened that day and how we move forward as a country.
KCAL 9 political reporter Tom Waite was one of the hosts, and he joins us now with what we've learned. I listened in for a little bit, Tom, and it sure was insightful.
It was powerful, and Amy Johnson and I co-hosted it. It was really an honor to speak to the people on the panel tonight. And from that discussion with the panel tonight, it's clear there is no easy way out of the situation that we're in. A year after the Capitol insurrection, a lot of work still needs to be done to become more united.
I was one of a few members that was trapped.
Ontario Congresswoman Norma Torres on our January 6th anniversary panel streamed live on CBSN, describing the horrifying moments she spent in the House gallery as protesters breached the Capitol.
It was a very, very terrifying period in our lives. We heard the gunshot being fired, followed by tear gas that was deployed.
But what was going through your mind? Did you think that you might not make it out of there alive?
I absolutely did not believe that I would be able to leave there alive.
Pasadena Congresswoman Judy Chu and Sherman Oaks Congressman Brad Sherman were holed up in their offices.
I immediately locked my doors, and for the next 8 hours, stayed shut inside, watching the TV for updates. I was careful not to make the volume too high so that nobody would know I was there. I dared not answer the door when I heard knocking because I didn't know who was on the other side and whether they were there to kill me.
Here, all hell broke loose. So we turned down the sound. We were very quiet for 4 or 5 hours. And after that, the Congress did its job.
A day of harrowing stories and images just 1 year ago. Now it's about a way forward and acknowledging some hard truths. Cal State San Bernardino professor Brian Levin is the director of the Center of Hate and Extremism.
When you look at this, about a third of Americans say that political violence can be justified. And we're seeing it now, while it's tilting much more with regard to the hard right, this kind of stuff can cross fire lines.
This event here isn't, of course, about looking back at a historical point in time. This isn't about remembering what happened. This is hopefully about what we're going to do going forward and recognizing that we are very much still in the thick of what caused January 6, 2021. And the resulting impact that we're dealing with still ongoing.
Of course, the primary reason the violence unfolded January 6th of last year is former president and his allies repeated the false claim that the election was stolen.
There's a lot of work that shows that when claims are repeated again and again, even if they initially seem crazy, just hearing the same claim makes you believe it more. And so, Trump has just been banging that drum for a long time, and he did a lot in preparation for the election, sort of knowing what was coming.
But of course, there is hope. Unity is possible.
We do need to come together as a country, but we need to stop villainizing each other, okay? And we need to stop putting each other down on both sides.
I haven't been in the classroom for a few months now, but that is one thing that does make me optimistic, is having conversations with my students, learning from them. It gives me hope when we have those real conversations that much of what we see on social media and much of what we hear isn't representative of how a lot of us feel.
It seemed the panel generally agreed that continued dialogue and the continued battle to fight misinformation is the key to finding a more united country. Clearly, there is a very long road ahead. Juan, back to you.